We're doing this? Alaska!
Quarantine.
Yeah, right?
It's very cold.
You're cold. You're suffering. Very foggy. Very rainy. Very cold. Hey, y'all.
Acted like somebody died.
I feel like I have.
Hey y'all,
Hey,
I'm Hannah.
I'm still Jeremy.
We are the Savory Suitcase.
Not so savory anymore.
Mostly suitcase.
Not even barely that.
So we are on our cruise to Alaska and I got COVID. First time that I've gotten it. Which,
Woo! Winner!
yeah. Which I think is sort of ironic that I picked the most inconvenient time to get COVID. For anybody, just to put it right out there, we are both vaccinated and have double boosters because Jeremy's immune compromised with his
Cancer, baby!
with his cancer. We were masking most of the time. So
I mean, pretty much the entirety of the time, anywhere we were in a public space on the boat.
unless we were eating, basically.
Yeah.
So, and we were wearing KN95, so, you know, I think...
We were doing everything that we could to prevent this from happening. You know, it's really unfortunate that it happened at all, but let alone on a trip that we've been rebooking for the past 2 years
Planning.
due to COVID.
Yeah.
You know, we were supposed to go on this back in June of 2020, and then, you know, as we all know, what happened in March. So we've been trying to replan, and we keep looking at things, and okay, well, let's push it off till 2021. Okay, let's push it off till 2022. And we felt safe enough, we felt good enough, you know, with protocols in place and vaccines, and womp womp.
Yeah.
Here we are. Luckily, I've continued to test negative. They've tested me daily.
But he's still in quarantine with me.
And
so
I'm still in quarantine regardless because we're in the same cabin. Hannah's parents, who are traveling with us as well, luckily they've been testing negative also, but they're in kind of a quasi-quarantine. They are able to roam about the ship with masks required, which they were anyway, but they just can't physically eat in establishments. They have to take food or order into their room.
And they're not allowed to get off the boat.
And they're not allowed to get off in any of the ports. So they're basically in the same position we are, only they're allowed to roam about the ship as they wish.
Now free to roam about the country.
Yeah.
Boo boo.
We feel insane.
So I basically ruined Alaska for everybody.
Oh, stop.
So we started our trip a couple of days in Seattle. So I don't know if I've put those vlogs out or if this one will come out first. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But so we started in Seattle and spent a couple of days there. I'm pretty sure that's probably where I got it, and it wasn't actually on the boat because I started feeling symptoms.
You started complaining Saturday night.
No.
Or Sunday night.
Sunday night, I felt like my allergies were really bad.
Yeah, we just chalked it up to, like, you know, the cold weather and the climate change in this area, but no.
And then on Monday we went to Juneau and we had a really nice time, but when we were hiking...
You struggled. Yeah, you struggled.
When we were hiking, I felt like my chest was on fire. Like, I wasn't, like, short of breath or anything like that, but
no, you just struggled to kind of get through.
I knew something was not right. So we brought tests with us just so that way we were, like, you know, armed with our own information, because it's like you don't want to alert the media if it's really not that. So I took a test and it was immediately positive.
Yeah, it didn't even
see the control line before I saw the test line. I was like, okay, well, there's the answer.
Which was exactly how it happened when I tested positive. which I had tested negative, and then boom, I was positive. So I've been negative from day one since this happened. They just came and tested me again this morning. We're on a solid day 4 of quarantine now. Yeah, it's interesting
in this little room.
Yeah, I mean, well, and what's nice, well, not really what's nice. So if you had booked an inside stateroom, this would be an upgrade for you because you'd be on a balcony. However, for us, we were in a mini suite, which was a total out of character thing for us. Like, we don't normally treat ourselves like that.
We just figured a once in a lifetime trip.
You know, like, this is Alaska, let's go, let's get a really great room, and so now we're in quarantine and we've been downgraded to a regular balcony.
It's like we saw the other side and then we got it taken away from us.
Yeah, we got it ripped away, like, no, not for you. So I know that sounds like, you know, a lot like we're complaining, and we are, you know, we're frustrated. It stinks. But it's also not lost on us, you know, how lucky we were to even have this opportunity to be able to come to Alaska. We still were able to see some beautiful things in Glacier Bay from our balcony, which was awesome. We've seen some whales, we've seen otters, we've seen bald eagles, we've seen...
I've definitely quarantined in worse places.
I mean, yes, first world problems. Yes. We definitely get that.
But I think that it is frustrating to sort of go through this experience and not know when we're going to be able to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that's been a long time planning, you know, in the making. So it's like, you know, when are we going to have a chance to do this again and do it right? Yeah. You know, or hopefully do it again and you know, my health is good and Hannah's health is good. You know, when are we going to have a chance to come here again?
And I feel fine mostly. I sound a little gross, but I feel mostly fine now.
It's been a bad cold.
I've been symptom free for, you know, probably about 2 days. I cough a little bit in the morning, but my voice sounds gross, but I think that
sorry, I tried to fight it. How I could even possibly be tired right now, I have no idea.
Mostly been laying in bed because there's not any place to sit in this room besides the chairs on the balcony.
The bed has been it, and luckily, like, you know, like she said, we do have the balcony, but we've been leaving the sliding door open and enjoying the sounds of the ocean and the nice cold weather. Luckily, since we've been in quarantine, luckily or unluckily, I'm not really sure, the weather was horrific while we weren't in quarantine, and now that we've been in quarantine, the weather has been beautiful.
Yeah.
No rain, little clouds.
So we, on Tuesday, I did my own test in the cabin on Monday night, and then on Tuesday morning, we called them.
We didn't go anywhere between...
It was like 10, 11 o'clock, so we just stayed in the room, we went to bed, and then the next morning I called them to let them know, you know, that they needed to come test me. And so then they basically...
I'm sorry. Okay.
You need to drink more of your coffee.
Yeah, I guess so. Mine's back there.
Oh, that's how you get COVID. So then they came and they told us pack up. They said, you know, take all your stuff. And then a couple of guys in masks and gloves and everything came.
It was like 4.
I think it was 3.
I don't know. It seemed like a lot of people to move just the 2 of us.
But they helped us with all our luggage, and then they brought us up here. It was, you know, it was really nice. They had a fruit plate up here for
a bowl of fruit.
Bowl of fruit, and they had some flowers up here for us. That first day felt a little hectic because I at that point I wasn't feeling great. So all I really wanted to do was just lay down. But the phone kept ringing, people kept knocking on the door, you know, and luckily the whole experience has been really nice because they allow you to order anything that you want. So you can order from the dining room, you can order from the room service menu, you can order as much food as you possibly want, which
and for last night when it was the other formal night with lobster and beef Wellington, we did it up for sure.
Yeah.
We even got dressed in our, you know.
Well, you did.
I did. I put my dress pants on.
I joked about putting on my dress, but
I put my dress pants on, and we sat out on the balcony.
That was nice.
And you know, on the plates, it's funny because it always looks worse than it is.
They put each individual
little thing is on its own plate. So you order, like, you know, if we each order like an appetizer, then like another type of starter, and then an entree and a dessert, that's 4 plates per person. There's like 8 to 10 plates that are just chilling in our room with the lid covers and it's been fun. Like, we got a peanut butter and jelly this morning, so everything comes like that, which is great. It's nice, that they cover it and all that.
But we did have the drink package as part of our original.
That's been nice.
And so I basically can order coffee anytime I want. I'm not drinking right now because, not for pregnancy reasons or anything, but because I had bariatric surgery less than 6 months ago, and you're not really supposed to drink for about a year after that. So
that feels rude.
There you go. So luckily, I tested positive early enough in the trip. I don't know. Luckily or unlucky, at this point, it all just is. That we don't have to change our flights. We don't have to quarantine in Seattle when we get back. Ship, so we should be able to fly home on Saturday.
As long as I continue to test negative.
He did test negative this morning. They called, and I don't think they're going to test us tomorrow because that's de-embarkation day.
Disembarkation, yeah.
So, hopefully we'll just be able to go home on Saturday, and then
hopefully we can shove ourselves in a tighter space for 6 more hours, and then we'll be home.
And of course, at this point, 5 days is the recommended quarantine period, and then they recommend that you wear a mask for 5 days in any
COVID brain?
Yeah. They recommend that you wear a mask for 5 days in any spaces where you can't social distance, and so obviously we will wear masks on the plane,
which we
on our way home. And
anyway.
We fly Southwest. Typically, we flew Delta on the way out here, and we purchased an extra seat so that we had the room in between us. But Southwest has a really good customer of size policy where they allow you to reserve the extra seat in the middle between you, so that way we won't have to have anybody else in our aisle with us as well. So that's a tip for anybody that's plus size and traveling and hasn't heard about Southwest. We typically fly them.
So one of the things I have to really say, and I have to give kudos to, is the staff with Princess Cruise Lines. They've been phenomenal. Anytime we order something to eat or drink, it's here within at most a half an hour. I mean,
I think last night was the longest, and it was because they said the dining room was very busy.
Really busy.
But she told me that when I ordered, and so I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing else to do. So.
Yeah, where are you gonna go? But the staff and the crew on this ship have been phenomenal. The guest services director even sent Hannah. We'll put a little picture right here. We'll show you. They gave her a stuffed moose, Mac the moose, McKinley the moose. It's like one of their mascots on the ship
for Alaska.
For the Alaskan cruises, yeah. And then they gave her a cruise guide to Alaska, a nice book, and then an Alaskan magnet.
Yeah.
And with a nice card, handwritten card.
Yeah, it was so sweet because when it showed up, because I had asked my parents to go to the gift shop and buy us one because we had talked about getting one, and then we didn't have the chance to. And so when it showed up, I was like, "Oh, Mom and Dad sent it to our room." And then I opened the card and it said, wishing you well
from all the staff
recovery, and I was like, oh, it came from the cruise ship. Yeah. So I called my mom and said, you don't have to buy me one. They sent me one.
So then she went and bought herself one,
and she got one too, so she deserves it.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate for them, kind of being pseudo quarantined and not really being able to do much, and they're not always up to doing a ton anyway, but just kind of knowing that you can't.
Yeah, I feel bad. They were able to see the sled dogs on the day in Skagway.
Yeah, and they went out and did the movie Under the Stars on the deck. Today our last port is Victoria, British Columbia. We were going to have a whale watching tour. So obviously that's going to be canceled also. So we're going to try and maybe we'll see some of our own whales from the balcony again.
We're going to make our own whale watching tour right here from our balcony.
We'll make our best. We'll make the best of it. Just one more sleep and a wake up, and then we'll be back in Seattle. And flights at 3. We're off the boat at 8. Flights at 3:30.
I don't know what we're gonna do in between those times.
And we get home at 9. So tomorrow's gonna be a long day.
No, we get home at 1 a.m. You do this every time.
I hate everything.
I will say the one thing that has been sort of a silver lining in disguise is that quarantine, the Princess does give you
future cruise credit.
Yes, they give you future cruise credit for any of the days that you are in quarantine. So we will get, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll get 4 or 5 days worth of our cruise back for future credit. So that will, I'm not sure how long we'll have to be able to use that. We have been talking about doing a Panama Canal cruise, hopefully in December of maybe 2023.
That was our next planned big cruise was going to be Panama Canal.
But I've also been toying with the idea of maybe planning to come back to Alaska next summer. So I don't really know. I mean,
maybe we'll give it another shot. Give it a mulligan.
I think the thing that really I wish I can't change what happened. I wish I had maybe tested positive the day after Skagway.
Well, you did miss the one excursion that you were looking forward to, and that was the White Pass, the Yukon Pass Railway, which is full of unbelievable sights and views. And it was funny because when we pulled into the Skagway port and we're sitting here watching everybody get off, and what we can see the train.
I can see it.
It was so we could see the train in the station, the train station from our balcony, like straight out our window. And then, of course, as it's leaving, it blows its horn, and as it comes back, it blows its horn. And so every time that happened, Hannah would say, "It's mocking me! It's mocking me!"
It felt like it was.
It's been rough. Yeah.
No, what does the train do? No, that's the cruise ship.
Oh, the what?
The train. What does the train sound like?
Woo, woo. I don't know. We're losing our minds. So we're sitting here, we're recording this, for you guys, and we're just kind of staring out at the ocean right behind the camera. We are in awe of the beauty that has been Alaska. The glaciers that we were able to see and the wildlife.
And to be honest, being able to see Glacier Bay from our balcony
with not one other person around,
yeah.
other than you can see and hear the other people on their balconies around you.
But
it was just us.
It was a beautiful experience, and
it was awe-inspiring.
Yeah,
it
would have been scenic cruising from the boat anyway. So I feel like that really is.
At least for one day, we didn't really miss anything.
Yeah, we couldn't go up on the balcony, but I feel like for me.
Well, you did unfortunately miss the bridge platform.
Oh, yeah.
The deck that's above the bridge that they opened during the Glacier Bay Scenic Cruising, we could see the people standing up there. And that's just the perfect spot because it's like the highest point on the ship, highest point on the ship, and you can really just stand there and turn in a circle and see everything around you.
But the captain did a really good job of directing the ship in either way. And I think it probably ended up being beneficial for me not being able to leave the room, because I think I probably would have spent most of the day trying to run back and forth different places to get the best shot and the best.
So we just got to sit and enjoy.
Yeah, so instead I got to relax and just
you can hear what they call the white thunder, which is the cracking of the glacier. You can hear it cracking and popping before it calves into the bay. It just it did really just sound like thunder. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then you kind of wait in anticipation. You're waiting for a little chunk to fall off, and
I think we saw just a few.
A couple.
It's
very small, but man, it was.
I'm not sure if I got anything on
film. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was a very cool and unique sight. That maybe we'll never get to see again. Maybe we will. Not really sure. So
I would say if you are planning a cruise, know that being quarantined is not necessarily the end of the world, and the cruise ships are definitely taking very good care of you. But I would say it is worth remembering right now that I think we are currently in another, kind of COVID spike. So
cruising is still a volatile form of travel.
Yeah, it's still a very unpredictable, very sort of risky.
Yeah. And so even being understanding of testing positive or the possibility of just be flexible. That's I think the biggest thing, because it's not just about possibly testing positive. It's also about staff levels. And I know that there have been we've been following some Facebook groups with the Alaska cruises over the last couple of years. And a lot of what people are saying right now that's happening is their cruise tour, which is like the combo land and ocean cruise. A lot of the land portions have been canceled because the resorts don't have the staff. And so just try to be flexible, make the best of what you get out of it, and realize that realize how lucky you are to be able to experience something like this. There certainly is an element of, making sure you want to get what you paid for and all of that, but it is also about what you make of it.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of been our attitude this whole time, just because, and anybody that's been following the Princess Cruise season has known about the Crown Princess, which is what we're on. Yeah. And our itinerary has been changed a couple of times. Our boat is having engine issues, so there's a lot of vibration towards the back of the ship.
So we were already like, should we move ships? Should we change the trip? Should we move? Eventually we're just like, let's just do it.
Let's just do it, yeah. I mean, because honestly, if we had gone through all of the
ship
hassle...
has been great, and we have not.
Yeah. If we'd gone through all of the hassle to change cruise ships and, end up on a different boat and still end up in quarantine, it would have felt like that was all for naught, Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you can't predict the future, but here we are.
Yeah.
And here's Alaska.
Yeah, so with all of that being said, enjoy some of these sights and sounds of Alaska that we did get to experience. Nugget Falls, must. Yeah. You must. If you're going to
Juneau.
If you're going to Juneau, take a ride out to the Mendenhall Glacier and do that mile and a half hike back and forth.
Don't do it with COVID, though.
Don't do it with COVID, not recommended. But man, it was unbelievable. I mean, I'm a waterfall enthusiast. I love them.
That's a waterfall enthusiast.
I would not say I'm an aficionado by any means, because I'm not, but I just love them. I think they're beautiful. The power behind them is...
Jeremy's waterfalls and I'm lighthouses.
Yeah. So, my height enjoyment on them doesn't require me to climb them. Just appreciate how high they can be. But... this one, I think, by far was the most stunning one I've ever seen. What was cool is you get to walk up the black sand beach. You could, if you wanted to, which I wouldn't recommend it, you could walk into it. You could walk underneath it. You would absolutely be knocked to the ground because of its power, but... there really are no restrictions. You could walk. People were walking right up to it. They were walking up the rocks right next to it and taking pictures. Not even. It was a little bit more than mist. It was a powerful blast of glacial water.
It's what I expect being in Niagara Falls to be like.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it was.
It was just that on our list for
incredibly loud and powerful and quiet all at the same time. It was. Yeah, it was. It was a great experience, and I'm really glad that we were able to do it, and I'm glad I was able to convince you to trek all the way. It was pouring rain, it was freezing cold, and she had COVID.
I was I don't feel very good.
I know, I was
Jeremy's
come on,
you're gonna regret
do
it. And I was like, when we get back to the ship and I test positive for COVID, you're going to feel bad.
And then she did. And I did. But that is the one experience that you're going to remember, because you were able to do it.
Yeah, because that's the one thing that we were able to do. So here we are. But
yeah, man, Mendenhall Glacier, if that's your first experience of Alaska like it was for us, mind-blowing.
If that's your only experience of Alaska.
Well, we saw other glaciers.
Yeah.
We saw, and the Johns Hopkins Glacier, when the boat goes out into Glacier Bay and they go up and they turn around, only 2 boats a day are allowed to go into Glacier Bay, and they have to be boarded by the park rangers for the National Park Service from Glacier Bay National Park. They pull a boat up on the side of the boat, your ship in the morning, and they hop in, and then they leave at the end of the day. But they narrate a tour throughout our trip through Glacier Bay.
Yeah, and I'm going to put together a video of our trip through Glacier Bay. We got some of the narration and stuff on camera, and obviously...
You can check out our Instagram now.
Yes.
If you don't want to watch the video, check out the Instagram now. And you can see some of the clips that Hannah put up from our trip through Glacier Bay. There's a time lapse It's just, you can see how the ship makes a U-turn and goes back the other way. Just unbelievable.
Stunning.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, I guess,
We are off.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for watching, you guys. We hope you enjoyed what we did see in Seattle and Alaska. And follow us for our next adventure.
Yeah, let's see what other adventures we're going to get into this summer while I'm off.
Yeah,
I don't really know.
I have,
John Penny Camp.
Yeah, I have a week off in July from my company has like a week-long shutdown for the 4th. And we have a trip planned to like South Florida, Miami, the, base of the Keys. So we're going to do a couple of fun things. And then in the fall, we are taking our New England trip finally. So we should be able to see some fall foliage.
The one that we were also supposed to do in 2020, I think, for COVID, for our anniversary.
We did a couple of things.
2020 was our 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. We saw fall
We were going to do
Georgia.
Vegas.
We were going to do Vegas, and then we changed our mind and we wanted to see fall foliage because that was originally what we thought about doing for our honeymoon, and then we did a cruise for our honeymoon instead. So, whatever. It's a lot of unnecessary information. Who's going to even watch this? Anybody?
You think?
Is anybody out there? Anyway. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. See y'all later.
See y'all later.
Bye. Is it on?
Is it?
Did I look like this the whole time?
Hello? What's scratched all over this mirror?
Is it Davy Jones' blocker?